there's a moment most of us remember clearly. Not because it was loud, but because it was quiet. A moment when you realized something in your life was no longer balanced. You were still showing up, still answering the calls, still doing what you said you would do, but inside, something felt off. Not broken, just tired. I didn't understand that feeling at first. I thought it meant I needed to try harder, be more patient, be more loyal, because loyalty, at least the way I learned, it wasn't just a value, it was an identity. You didn't leave, you didn't quit. You didn't give up on people, you stayed, you adjusted. You carried things quietly so others wouldn't have to. And for a long time, that felt like strength. People called you dependable. They trusted you with responsibilities, secrets, expectations. And every time you held things together, it confirmed the story you told yourself. This is who I am, the reliable one, the one who never breaks. Until one day, you look around and you realize you're holding everything, and no one is holding you. You notice how your name is always mentioned when something needs fixing, but rarely when something needs celebrating. You notice how your silence has become comfortable for others, while your needs feel inconvenient. The space you take up has gotten smaller and smaller, and you're not even sure when it happened. And the hardest part isn't the exhaustion. It's the guilt, because the thought of stepping back, of saying no, of putting down the weight, feels like betrayal. You start asking yourself questions you never thought you'd ask. If I leave, who will I be? If I say no, will I still be loved? Will I still be needed? That's when loyalty starts to hurt. Not because loyalty itself is wrong. It's a beautiful quality. But because it's being asked to do something it was never meant to do. Carry everything entirely alone. It's being stretched into a shape that no longer fits you, and the tension is becoming unbearable. Now, let's pan across the room. On the other side, there's someone else. Someone watching all of this from a distance. They don't stay in one place for too long. They don't explain themselves too much. They learned that the safest place to stand is where no one can lean on them too hard. Their independence didn't come from a deep well of confidence. It came from experience, from being let down, from promises that sounded solid and ended suddenly, from realizing that depending on others sometimes comes with a price they were no longer willing to pay. So they built a life where they didn't owe anyone anything. A life of clean exits and self-reliance. They move quickly, they adapt easily. They don't wait for validation because they've learned to give it to themselves. And people admire them for it. They look unbothered, untouchable, strong. But strength, when it's always on guard, gets lonely. Because that independence, that self-protection, can slowly turn into distance. Not dramatic door slamming. Distance, just a quiet, subtle space that grows wider over time. You stop explaining your feelings because it feels like too much work. You stop inviting people into your inner world because it feels too vulnerable. You tell yourself you don't need anyone, and eventually you start to believe it. Until something happens, something heavy, something unexpected that you can't fix on your own. And for the first time in a long time, you wish someone knew you well enough to notice you weren't okay. But you've trained yourself not to ask for help. You've trained everyone around you not to offer it. So you sit with the weight alone, telling yourself, this is the cost of being strong. Here's the part we don't talk about enough. The loyal person often envies the independent person's freedom. They watch them walk away from things that hurt and wish they had that courage. Meanwhile, the independent person often envies the loyal person's connection. They see their deep roots and long for that sense of belonging. Each one thinks the other has it figured out. But life has a funny way of breaking our illusions. The loyal one finally reaches a breaking point. It's not a moment of anger, it's a moment of clarity. They realize staying has started to feel like self-abandonment, so they finally speak up. They finally set a boundary. They finally say, I can't. And the response is smaller than they expected. Maybe it's silence. Maybe it's confusion, or even resistance. Maybe it's a simple, disappointed okay. And in that quiet moment, something shifts inside them. They understand that loyalty alone can't hold a relationship together if respect isn't there too. Meanwhile, the independent one faces their own reckoning. They walk away from something they care about again. They tell themselves it's the right move, the smart move. But this time, it doesn't feel empowering. It just feels empty. They realize that leaving has become easy, too easy, and that scares them more than staying ever did. They've perfected the art of not getting hurt, but they've lost the art of being held. And that S, when both paths meet at the exact same truth. Too much loyalty makes you disappear. Too much independence makes you unreachable. Neither one is the answer by itself. The real turning point comes when you stop asking, should I stay or should I leave? And you start asking a new question. Is this aligned with who I am becoming? Because true, healthy loyalty should never require you to betray yourself. And true, healthy independence should never require you to shut people out completely. Real maturity is knowing you can survive on your own and still choosing connection. It's being strong enough to walk away and brave enough to stay when things get uncomfortable but healthy. It's understanding that the deepest, most meaningful relationships aren't built on need, but on choice. And that choice changes everything. When you're independent at your core, your loyalty becomes incredibly powerful. Because you're not staying out of fear of being alone. You're staying because it truly matters to you. You're choosing to be there. And when you're loyal, but you have firm boundaries, your independence becomes grounded. Because you're not running away from problems, you're choosing your peace wisely. So now, loyalty starts to look different. It looks like honesty instead of silent resentment. It looks like clear boundaries instead of burnout. It looks like saying, I care about you deeply, but I will not disappear for you. And independence starts to look different too. It looks like asking for help without shame. It looks like letting someone see you before you're fully put together. It looks like trusting another person, not blindly, but intentionally. Maybe that's the real balance we're all trying to find. Not how to cling tighter, not how to cut people off faster, but how to stand firmly in ourselves while still letting others matter. Because at the end of the day, the goal isn't to prove how loyal you are or how independent you've become. The goal is to live a life where staying is a conscious choice, leaving is a valid option, and your sense of self remains intact. No matter which path you take, that's not weakness, that's not confusion, that's wisdom. And if you're somewhere in that messy middle, right now tired of holding on, but also tired of standing alone, please know this: you're not lost. You're evolving. You're learning when to stay. You're learning when to walk. And you're learning that the strongest people aren't defined by their loyalty or their independence, but by the courage to choose both at the right time for the right reasons. Thanks for watching. If this resonated with you, consider subscribing for more conversations like this. Take care.